Okay, number 4, knowing about sounds, how to make guitars sound how whoever you're working for wants them. And that's very, very, very important. Just remember, in most situations, you are working for somebody. Yep. Whether you are working as a band, creating a band sound, whether you're working for a producer, a songwriter, whether you're doing a dep for somebody, whatever it is, you are working for somebody. So you need to be able to create the sounds that are appropriate, that they want. Okay, I did some lectures at a university, and I was talking to some guys on like a degree course, session guitar degree course, and I said to them things like, so how would you create, for instance, you know, Nile Rodgers, how do you create a classic disco guitar sound? You know, and they're like, oh, I don't know, you know. So really, it's got to be a single coil guitar, probably a Strat, that's what he uses. You know, a decent compressor into a clean amp, like a deluxe or a twin, something like that. Then, for instance, another example might be you go in and the producer goes, oh, I've got this big epic ballad. I want you to sound like Slash standing on top of a mountain soloing away. In that case, you know, your Telecaster, your compressor and your lovely deluxe reverb, it's not going to do it. You know, that has to be a humbucking guitar, probably a Les Paul, maybe a Marshall amp, and maybe some kind of drive pedal. You know, so you need to be able to know how to take the gear that you have, set it up and use it to create the tones that the people want. And again, one of the things that you find time and time again with guys who work a lot as session players, you say, why do they get the gigs? The producer will say, because they come in straight away, whatever vibe it is I'm going for, they know how to get that sound and they know how to play in that style. You know, it's like Jimi Hendrix might be another one. You know, you need a Strat, you need a Univibe, a fuzz face, probably into a Marshall, and be able to play in that kind of style. So you need to be able to, like we go back to our diversification thing, know about classic styles, but also know how people got those sounds. You know, like someone might say, I want a kind of Andy Summers Police type guitar tone. So again, single coils probably, you know, but you need to know that he used like an Electro Harmonix flanger or a Boss CE1 chorus and a Memory Man delay, all that kind of stuff. To be able, you need to be able to nail those tones, and you can spend all the time that you want honing your sound, but again, only really if you are going out as a solo artist. You know, if you're Eric Johnson or, you know, like we said, Guthrie Govan or Steve Vai, those guys have their sound and they're known for that, but your chances of reaching that point to earn money are pretty remote. So if you want to do lots and lots of different things and earn money and live as a gigging guitar player or bass player or keyboard player, whatever it is, the ability to dial in those sounds is really, really important. So take your favourite albums, your favourite artists, you know, look it up, find out what gear they used. You know, what did Larry Carlton use with Steely Dan, you know, and you find it was like a deluxe reverb and, you know, and he's 335, and just practice with the gear that you've got. Practice getting it to sound as good as you can and sound like different stuff as well.